Hi everybody, Lori here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to join Says Stamp for their Friends Like You release blog hop, and I have a project featuring the new Sensational Seashells embossing folder that coordinates with the Sensational Seashells die set. Say it with me. Sally sells seashells down by the seashore. Okay, so here's all the little seashell die cuts. And I'm going to start with a panel. You can emboss the panel. I chose not to do that because I want to create my own pattern. Because you can see with the embossing folder, there's already a pattern laid out there, and the shells kind of overlap. But I didn't want overlapping shells, so I chose to create my own pattern. Here's my inspiration. I went on Pinterest and I typed in seashell patterns, and this one came up, and I love the color combination. So that's where I got my inspiration for these colors of scrap solid color cardstock. As far as brands, I would say this is a mixture of Concord 9th and Says Stamp. I will have both of the cardstocks linked, everything in my description box. So I don't even know if I could tell you exactly which colors. I know the base, the card base, that very, very light pink, is Ballet Slipper by Concord 9th. But all these others, I'm going to say Duckling. I know that orange, that bright orange, is Says Stamp. And that's about all I can remember. Okay, so I'm just die cutting a bunch of seashells. I'm not even keeping track. I'm going to have way more than I need. But I just wanted to have enough to create a fun and colorful, whimsical pattern. Now, once you die cut all the seashells, if you want to add some fun texture, you put them back into the Sensational Seashells embossing folder. Now, when you open up an embossing folder, one side, the top of it there, is like raised, and the one here that I'm working with, the pattern is like dipped, like recessed. That's what you're going to want to use. Put your die cuts face down into the dipped little portions, and they kind of lock in place. It's really easy to know when you've got them right because it does kind of lock in place. And then now once you get them all that you got, fold the embossing folder very carefully. Do not sneeze or breathe heavy. You will blow them out of place. Now for my sandwich, for the Anna Griffin Impress, I use one cutting plate, one metal shim, and my embossing folder. Every company, every embossing folder has a different thickness and probably a different sandwich recipe. So you kind of have to fiddle and futz and see what works best for you. This is what seems to work best for my machine. I know my magnet is very worn in. By the way, this yellow seashell got shifted in the die cutting process, so the embossing was a little bit offset. Didn't like it. Put it off to the side. I'm not even going to redo it because I can already tell I have way more than enough. I actually have some more die cuts here that I need to do a second pass with the embossing folder to give them that texture. Okay, so I love this color combination. It's very happy. It's given me joy. I'm not even going to try to name these seashells. I know they probably have names, but I do not know them. Okay, but I'm going to emboss them. And then here you carefully close this. How many times have I done this and the die cuts get shifted? You would not believe it, okay? But see, the magic of editing is I don't always show that. I show the fun parts. Okay, so here's all these little, isn't this one called a sand dollar, something like that? I kind of know that one. Anywho, here's all these little die cuts, and then here's where the fiddling and the futzing comes in. And I'm going to try to fiddle and futz myself a little pattern. Try to evenly disperse the colors so that not like you don't want to have all the yellows in one part. You want to, evenly disperse the yellows and the oranges and the reds and the blues so it seems balanced. And I can spend all day on something like this. I really can. Fiddle and futzing all the live long day. But once you got it how you like it, take some press and seal. Now listen, there's a story behind this press and seal. The last time I used press and seal on a card, I wadded it up and threw it in my little Rascog cart. And that's just because I'm lazy. But when I was doing this card today, I looked over to the side. I saw that wadded up press and seal, and I thought, I wonder if I can use that again. Open it up, sure enough, good as new. So I did not even know you could reuse press and seal like this. And so sometimes laziness pays off. Moral of the story, also want to talk about this new Positively Perfect Mini Craft Glue. Let me tell you, I consider myself a glue snob. I've been using Barely Arts glue for years, and I love that precision needle tip. I still do. But I was skeptical to try this little mini, but guess what? Highly recommend. Squirts like a dream. The bottle's just, it's easy to squeeze. It hasn't clogged on me yet. Highly recommend. Now for the sentiment, I'm using the new CZ Smile. I'm going to emboss this linear smile word die in white on a panel of dark kind of midnight blue cardstock. So I prepped it with the Says Stamp powder tool, inked it up with Versamark ink, pouring on Says Stamp white embossing powder. I love this thin linear white smile, and then the die cut's thicker. It's just got a fabulous look. I'm going to emboss a coordinating sub-sentiment that says love to see your. So it's going to be love to see your smile. But I'm embossing the sub-sentiment on a bright orange little scrap of cardstock. Got the heat gun piping hot. Embossing the smile, embossing the sub-sentiment, and then I'm going to use the coordinating die to cut out that smile. And I'll use a little mini guillotine trimmer to trim out my sentiment strip. So here's what I love about this smile. See how it's thicker? And you get that midnight blue and then the thin white embossed linear smile. Kathy Zilski knows what she's doing. Every time I'm like, love it. Love it. Using the little mini guillotine to carefully trim out the sub-sentiment. I'm eyeballing it. Sometimes I do not get it straight, people. I'm telling you, sometimes I get it crooked as all get out. Now the seashells have dried, removing that janky press and seal, but I'm going to fold that up and I'm tossing it. I mean, I'm not throwing it away. I'm just tossing it to the side and saving it for the next card. I'm going to see how many times I can reuse that puppy. Here I'm gluing my seashell panel to a white card base. Again, using that new Positively craft glue. Just gluing her down. No foam tape today, even though Dimension is still alive. But star of the show is about to make an appearance. Mr. Frankie Frank, the fur ball. Here he comes. Listen, this is the third time he's hopped up on my desk. I don't know what it is, but every time I pull out the glue, I think it's the cap. Okay, I think it's the glue cap. He comes up here. By the way, I die cut 3 more smiles out of white, and I'm stacking them up. And here he comes, and he loves to watch me. But what he wants to do is knock the glue cap off the desk. He makes me so mad. But I knew you guys would get a kick. You couldn't try to make this happen if you wanted to, but look at, he's up here, and he just pushes that right off so it falls behind my desk. I got to get on my hands and knees, crawl under the desk and get it. And it just makes him so happy to do that. I put a little bit of that Big Mama foam tape on the back of my sentiment strip here. I'm using that Positively little mini T-square to get my sentiment strip straight because I've been known to get that crooked. A little bit of glue on my stacked up smile, and I'm just going to try to center this if I don't drop it with my butter fingers, and just glue it, kind of nestle it with the sub-sentiment. And here's a little afterthought. My inspiration off of Pinterest had some little doodly marks, and I thought, why not pull out some Copics in slightly darker shades than the cardstock and have a little doodle sesh? I don't know. I was thinking, am I wrecking this right now? That's what I always think. Have I gone too far? But you never know until you try it. And actually, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I didn't do every single shell. I just kind of went over some of the embossed lines. I mean, willy-nilly is the key to this one. In fact, I really don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I don't know if you can see my marker caps. I held them up in the beginning. You can kind of pause that if you want to know exactly what colors I use, but I really just went and tried to grab what I thought would be shades a little bit darker. It's a guessing game. And then I also pull out a white gel pen to add some little white dots or accents, just for funsies. I don't know. You know what I realized when I got this far into it? is that the bottom blue shell, I'll show you here, the bottom blue shell on the left did not even get put back into the embossing folder to give it texture. I didn't even realize it until now, but it's okay because I'm taking a white gel pen and I'm just drawing dots all over it. Now, do seashells have dots? I mean, in my world, these are rainbow seashells. Okay, so anything goes. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you think I've gone too far, if I've lost my seashell loving marbles. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta YOLO. See how it goes. I kind of dig it. By the way, I forgot to mention, I added some little clear embellishments. These are from the Starshine Embellishment Mix by Says Stamp. Just added a few on the bottom left, top right, or top left, bottom right, here and there for a little bling. This card is finished. Love to see your smile. Maybe it should say, love to see your seashell smile. Make sure and check out the Friends Like You release over at Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.